Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will show you a very useful Burp Suite trick for CTF and web security labs. Sometimes in a CTF challenge, the application checks request header. I will use Try Hack Me Room harder to illustrate this very useful trick. Although I've already done this room before. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So then let's head over to Linux VM. So here we are presented with this user login form, and we have already got its credentials. So this is the password. And paste in here, login. We are successful. However, we get this message. Your IP is not allowed to use this web service. Only this IP address or range is allowed. Of course, such restriction can be easily bypassed by manipulating request header. Let me show you what we are going to do next. We can set Foxy Proxy plugin to Burp Suite, and then we can launch Burp Suite. You know, when I recorded this video, this room, I spent pretty much time on this. So afterwards, I decided to find a better way or more effective way. And we can click next and start Burp Suite. It's almost done. Okay, so at the top, we can navigate to Proxy tab and enable intercept option. So now let's go back to the browser and refresh this page. And for certain, our Burp Suite will intercept this request for us. So how to do? We need to append or add one more field into request headers. That is X forwarded. So we use this field to cheat the application that we are from this IP address. Okay, and so okay, add, and we can forward this request. If you go back to the browser, you can see now this time is accessible, and we can execute a command, for example, like ls, and execute. However, we need to add such a field, the same field, into request headers every time for every request. And so, for example, like X forwarded for and add and forward. Although we can get this command executed, however, the method what I used is very annoying, right? So how to make our life easier and happier? I like to show you this trick, not very big, small trick of Burp Suite. So let me go to Burp Suite and then go to proxy settings. So now you can scroll down to yes, HTTP match and replace rules. We can add one more rules. For example, I'd like to replace with X forwarded. 4 and IP address. Okay, and you can add a comment if you want to. So X forwarded 4, and we can leave blank. Yes, this means, Burp Suite will add this or replace, maybe replace is not the right term, will append or add this field into every request, okay? Because here we leave it empty or blank, okay? We can click OK. If you want, you can enable or select this option and apply it to in-scope items. Of course, we need to configure scope in the target, but it's not necessary. So now let me close up this, and then we can go back to the browser and execute. So here you see this field has been appended or inserted automatically. Even now we can send this to repeater a module, and we can run different commands here. We do not need to go back and forth between a Burp Suite and the browser. For example, we can run like cat, and we can send it, and we can render the response. You see, we successfully get the output, okay? And we can change the command, for example, like a cat. Maybe we can use the ulim. Okay, we can check. We can run any command, which netcat, and the little cat is there. So now I'd like to try if we can get a reverse shell by this way. We can set up the listener on the Linux, and then let me go back and let me use netcat bin bash and followed by IP address of attacking machine. We can copy. Okay, and port number, send it. So now, so how about another reverse shell command, such as Python reverse shell command? Let me copy. Of course, we can check the version of Python. Which Python? Python 2 is not available. How about Python 3? Python 3 is available. So let me grab Python reverse shell command from this website. We can copy and paste in here. Python 3 and IP address of attacking machine and port number. Let me copy command completely and then replace this with our reverse shell command. Send it. Oh, we got the collection. Sweet. So now let me check whether we can run command as usual. ID. It still doesn't work. Anyhow, I have demonstrated this small trick, how to configure Burp Suite to to manipulate every request. Okay, so with that being said, that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next one. Bye. Have a good day, please.